Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dorian Show. Today I have a very special guest. Give it up, everyone, for Mr. John Beard.
Hey, how you doing? Maybe tell them where we're at. This is
We are at the Edinburgh Castle in the Tenderloin. We have come a long way. We went from like getting a mic up here, getting kicked down there, to now just two dudes chatting it up in the
they give us run of the room now.
the great room of Edinburgh.
It's covered in I don't want to out any. I don't know.
It's covered with a lot of
Cigarette butts.
a character out was the word I was looking for.
I think there's a dog living up here
For sure, and a man.
and a man.
No. How's it going, man? How are you doing?
I'm all right. Came from work here to. I'm a little bit perturbed that you asked me to do this, but here we are.
Yeah,
Figure I ain't got much to say,
dude. I'm still thinking about how you yesterday, how you just like dismissed the man.
Oh,
with cigarettes.
Dorian's referring to. I guess I summarily cut off some guy hanging out with us at the outside the punchline last night.
This guy came up to John,
but I didn't know him. You didn't know him.
I didn't, but I thought he wanted to hang. I don't. So John's a smoker, and I'm not. I'm a secondhand smoker. And this guy just approached you, and I don't want to say what kind of accent he had, but it kind of sounded like, "Hey, buddy, can I bum a cigarette off with you?"
I think he sounded like an American. I think you're.
He was American that sounded like that.
You're doing a.
Hey, buddy.
I didn't hear any accent. I just heard a beggar wanting a fucking cigarette.
Shit.
He wanted a cigarette, and he did what I hate the most, which is I put it back, and he's like, "Oh, can I get a light too?"
Well,
And
what did you expect? Like he was just gonna use a flint?
Yeah, well, I expected him to have his own fucking lighter. Is the first?
Okay.
Am I allowed to cuss on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a children's show, but they got to learn at some point.
This is young adult.
Wait, so how? What are? I feel like it's like 100% of the time when someone bums a cigarette off of you, they also need a light.
Not in the Tenderloin, because that's where it's proper. They have lighters, they just don't have cigarettes.
Oh, okay.
So very often people ask for cigarettes, and they often don't need a lighter.
I see.
But a lot of people outside the Tenderloin don't have that same level of courtesy.
Yeah. So anyway, this guy like lights up his cigarette, and he was gonna stand around us two super cool and handsome men, and John, you were just like, "Good night," and he just walked away slowly.
Yeah, there's a bit of finality to it that you pointed out after I said it.
You didn't notice it as you said it.
No, but I said it, then I turned from him to you, and you started laughing, and I didn't know why you were laughing, because I didn't see him. I guess he might have shambled away. I didn't see it. Did he kind of? Did he look dejected?
Yeah, it was super awkward. He it looked like he was gonna smoke next to us and like, "Hey, what's up, fellas?"
Yeah, but
it's weird that his like accent just changed. But what happened was when you said good night, he's like, and then he took a step back. He took a puff and then he walked away.
Well, I gave him what he wanted.
He wanted friendship, dude. I'm not even sure if he smoked cigarettes.
After I put my lighter away, he should have then said, "Hey, can we talk?" And I would have rolled my eyes then too. Just at the lighter, just as entreaty for human connection, I would shut that down too.
Yeah,
but.
dude. He will. He'll never come back to do comedy again.
I don't think he was a comic.
He wasn't?
No, I didn't recognize him.
Oh, but there's like millions of those guys.
Yeah, but I go to the Punchline on Sundays often, and I'll see, like, I just didn't recognize him. Like, I thought he was a audience member leaving.
Oh.
Had I known, if I thought he was a comic, I wouldn't have done that.
I just assumed everybody there's a comic that talks to us.
Well, no, because we left right when the show was letting out,
yeah.
so I think he was just an audience.
Yeah.
I don't know. He could have been a comic, and if he sees this, I apologize.
He won't see this.
And I also apologize for Dorian's accent of him. I apologize.
I mean, it was pretty close. I wouldn't say it was a perfect representation of what it was, but it was pretty close. I don't know. You think do you think he's even a smoker? I think he just like put out the cigarette and just like put it in his pocket.
You think he wanted to hurt himself just to speak with us?
Yeah,
That's
I think he's keeping that cigarette. Like when he's writing his like his suicide note, he's gonna sprinkle some ashes here. He's like, I try making friends like my mom told me to.
I don't think what we did warranted a suicide note. Maybe like a
It's
note
like
for a long nap.
It was like the last. This is the cherry on top of his horrible life.
He was dressed pretty well though.
Yeah, because he was out to make friends.
The one time he gets dressed up to go, I was
He's
like, tonight's the night.
He's like, I'm gonna make some good friends tonight, guys. And you shut him down.
I mean,
that's gonna be me, by the way, when I like move out of here and go to Los Angeles.
Oh yeah, West Hollywood, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna start smoking cigarettes, and people are just like, "What the fuck is this guy?"
Well, you never really smoked too many cigarettes, have you?
No, I mean at one point I smoked a lot, but all happened in one day.
Oh yeah, you found that pack. We had a few pre-interview sessions where we talked.
That's right. I was in
Being friends, I guess is what it's called.
I think I was in college. I'm gonna tell a story real quick. I was in college.
Please.
I was working at SFO, like a good contributor society, and some guy left a full pack of cigarettes on the counter, so I took it and I smoked it with like 2 other friends, the whole pack.
You're in high school,
College,
and you worked at SFO.
yeah, it's like at a food over the summer. I was working at
Oh, okay.
one of those food stands selling Asian food, making really terrible money. But yeah,
Was the
man.
food good?
The food was all right, and like I started bartering with the people around. Like this guy worked at the Japanese restaurant. He's like, "Yo, I'll give you some sushi. Give me some orange chicken." But like clearly his food is like way better. I think he was just doing it to like
Camaraderie.
yeah, just to like make friends, you know.
And you get the food and you're like, good night, and just walk away from them.
Like, here's your chicken, dude. I'm gonna get in the back. I did like I won't even say dating. I went on like a few dates with this girl that worked with me. She spoke like no English.
Do you speak anything other than English?
I speak Cantonese, which is one of the Chinese
Yeah, I
languages.
know what the fuck Cantonese is.
I don't know, dude.
Can you? Is that what you spoke?
She didn't speak that.
Oh,
She spoke Mandarin.
wow, Romeo and Juliet, right there.
But she was very cute, and I think her accent made her a lot cuter. It's not like the TVs, you know, where the Asian accents are always terrible. Like hers is.
It was fluid. It was liquid gold.
I mean, I don't know if it was fluid. I mean, I barely understood her, but I was just like, oh, she's attractive. She's cute. Brought her to Elephant Bar. I was wearing like jean shorts that were real baggy because it was the times, and like a giant polo.
How old were you?
I was in college. I was like I was a sophomore, so that would be like 19 maybe.
Okay, can't even drink yet. So you're going on some pretty nice non-alcoholic dates.
Elephant Bar, dude.
Is that a proper bar?
This is like a bar and grill. You never heard of Elephant Bar?
No.
It's like a higher end. It's nicer than Sizzlers. Probably like a little bit nicer than Chili's. If that makes sense.
It does. All of that makes sense because I love chain restaurants. But I'm like, you didn't really take her anywhere good.
Yeah, it's a small. I thought it was good at the time because I have a friend.
It's no Applebee's.
I think it might be nicer than Applebee's.
It is nice. Chili's is nicer than Applebee's. Yeah.
No, I'm saying Elephant Bar.
Oh, I know. You said it was nicer than Chili's. Chili's is nicer than.
It's not as nice as what's that, Cheesecake Factory?
Oh yeah.
It's below Cheesecake Factory. It's around the Oh, there's another place, a chain, but I forgot what it's called.
P.F. Chang's?
I don't even know if I ever stepped foot in P.F. Chang's.
Okay, that's
Yeah, it's like a Panda Express-ish type.
No,
but
it's
nicer.
beyond Panda Express. Yeah. Oh, the music's starting downstairs.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll pick it up here. But yeah, dude, what's new with you, man? You want to talk about what's new with you?
I am leaving my job.
As what? Or you don't want to talk about that?
I'm barred as an attorney.
Damn.
But,
now you're barred from doing law.
Yeah, I feel like it's unnecessary to say, but no, I've just got to renew my license. I can keep doing it. I just don't want to do it where I'm doing it now.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just don't really want to do it for a bit anyway.
Okay. You're just gonna focus on comedy, your first love.
Well, I want to focus on. Well, that is my first love, but I'm going to focus on a whole slate of things. Cleaning.
Cleaning?
Yeah, I got to clean my house, my apartment.
How big is your apartment?
It's very small. It's a studio in the Tenderloin.
Yeah, how much a long weekend wouldn't suffice then?
I would say that, so if anyone knows Edinburgh Castle, who is one of Dorian's rabid fans, I live in a space that's smaller. It's probably like half the size of this room.
I was almost going to say, if your studio was this size, it would be a pretty big.
Yeah, I know, but it's like half the size and maybe a little bit smaller.
Okay.
But
kitchen or is no kitchen?
I have a bed that stares at the kitchen, and
Okay.
I look at it from the. It has a linoleum floor that sets it off from the
carpet,
stained brown carpeting. Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's cool. It's kind of like a James's joke. His studio apartment. Oven's right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Damn. So what are you gonna do? You're just not gonna work for a while? What are you gonna do for money, man?
Only for a little bit. I'm gonna. I guess win roast battles and comedy competitions. No, that's a joke. No, I will not win any money. I'm just going to skate for a bit. I might, if I need to, I'll pick up some catering gigs. I actually like catering.
Yeah. Do you have a background in this? How is it? You just pick up catering?
You can, because I did it right after I took the bar. So in between taking the bar exam and finding the bar results, California is the state where you have to wait the longest, or one of the longest. Okay. So it's like you find out, you take the bar in late July, you find out that you passed in mid-November.
Yeah.
And so during that time, I didn't have a job other than cater. Well, actually, I had a few jobs. One of them was catering, and that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
You're just on your feet, and you get. I don't know if have you ever worked in food service?
Yeah.
Well, other than
the
airport. Okay.
Stole a pack of cigarettes.
You ever serve or like bus, like at a restaurant?
No, I mean I bartended at like
Okay.
at an event.
Well, yeah,
but that's kind of like catering, I guess.
Yeah, you get into the flow of it, and like the night. If it's a slow night, it sucks. If it's a quick enough night, you get into a flow of it, and you just kind of zen your way through it.
Yeah, and then you like flirt with like the women at the party.
You flirt with your other coworkers, but I'm not good at flirting, so I just talk to them as people.
You flirt with people.
I wasn't taking
typically
I wasn't taking Mandarin only speaking people out on dates in which I didn't understand them.
I mean, she was the only woman like girl close to my age. Like the other lady was like in her 40s at the time. And she was at my.
She's
time.
the one who got away. Is what you're saying.
Dude. I was getting away. I was like, I've already seen someone, and she's like, who? I'm like, her. And the girl's like, huh?
I feel like you probably came around this older lady once or twice with your jean shorts and your oversized polo.
Yeah, I didn't wear the jean shorts at the place. Either.
Not allowed. I assume.
Yeah. It's a established place in the international.
My first time. My first job was that your first job?
No.
What was your first job? Babysitting?
Kind of. Worked at like a summer camp at the church I used to go to. Work with kids.
Oh, what denomination?
Christian Baptist, I guess.
Baptist?
Yeah.
Were you raised Baptist?
I wasn't raised anything. My parents aren't religious.
You just wanted to be a part of a church.
My parents sent me to a Christian school because it was a private school, and it was full of Chinese kids. So I basically went to a Chinese like Chinese American private school that just kind of just have all the kids go into the church as they get you.
Oh yeah, I in the AmeriCorps program I worked at a Epiphany school down in Outer Mission in Excelsior.
What was it called?
Epiphany School.
Oh, Epiphany.
And that's a lot of Filipino people.
Yes.
And they, but I was supposed to not do anything religious based in that because of the AmeriCorps program because it's government federal funding.
Yeah.
But a few times I got to teach a religious studies class.
Oh yeah.
Well, basically, turn to your booklet and read about Jesus, kind of thing for like middle schoolers.
Were you religious at the time?
No, I delighted in the fact that me, a non-Catholic, was helping lead a Catholic class on their duties and obligations as a member of the Catholic faith.
You didn't feel conflicted at all about?
No, I didn't give a shit.
Damn.
She was like, "You want to teach?" I was like, "You're telling me I get to teach a religious class out of a workbook? Yeah, let's do it."
Really, you don't feel like you're fucking the kids up if you don't yourself believe in it?
No.
What were they teaching them? Gazer.
No, it was just like something about being good, I guess. I would not teach them hate. At that point, I would have bowed out. I'm like, no.
You gotta teach them.
But I do come from a Southern Baptist.
Abortionists murdered a bunch of kids.
They already thought that, but I don't know if you've ever worked with middle schoolers, but they are. That's when you start to become freaks. There's like a kid who peed in a desk once that got him expelled after a long line of bad behavior, but that
was the last straw.
He peed into a desk, like the little bay for your books underneath the top surface. Yeah.
The ones where you open, like a purse. What were his other?
Ain't no desk like a purse.
What was his other transgressions like at Catholic school?
Man, his name was Glenn. Which is weird it was like
shout out Glenn. He was probably in prison somewhere.
He was a 7th grade, maybe 8th grade Chinese boy. I don't want to
What's up?
Cast aspersions.
What's up, Glenn the Chinese? But I know a Chinese Glenn, but he went to the school I went to. Cornerstone.
Isn't that a creamery?
Cornerstone?
Or what's the name of the fucking ice cream place?
Cold Stone?
Cold Stone, yeah. You went to Cold Stone Academy.
Yeah, that's how I got this fat. Oh, no.
I was going to say it. I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to. I thought that's going to be mean.
Yeah, we have to fight for the rest of this pod. Were you ever religious?
Yeah, I was a religious child growing up.
Until when?
I used to be big into reading the Bible as a child up until I was like 8 or 9. Like I would read the Bible all the time.
You left the faith at 8. You're just like,
well, I didn't leave the faith at 8. That's when my father died. So I was like, well,
shit.
this. I mean, it became an idiosyncratic faith, I reckon.
Yeah.
I don't know if I left it, but I just.
Was your father a pastor, preacher?
No, he was a schizophrenic, manic depressive guy.
Oh, okay.
He worked odd jobs.
Okay.
Painting shit around town.
But he just once he like passed away, like your family just stopped going to church. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was like you get to when you have enough bullshit going on in your life, you just stop going to church.
Yeah,
is what happened. And then so then after Louisiana, we moved to Ohio, and then every now and then, my mom would get into her head that we should go to church, like just like once a year.
Okay, Easter or Christmas.
It could be random. Like I think because like for the because if it's Easter or Christmas, we're gonna do family stuff. It's like families coming over, so the church shit would happen in between. So like in like very weird times.
Yeah.
And is this? I'm not boring you, am I?
No.
Okay.
I'm very excited. Can't you see?
Yeah.
Keep going. And what happened? You're
inscrutable, Dorian.
And your mom was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." How
no, there's been a few odd times. The worst time, every time we would go, I found it horribly awkward, and that's
even though there's like a bunch of kids there.
I didn't know them.
Oh, yeah.
Like they knew each other because they were going to church all the time.
Yeah,
I would pop in, probably unshowered, very just wary of everything I'm about to step into. And I go to this youth group thing in the back room because I don't know if you know, you have Sunday school and you have big church.
I was religious deep into my 20s.
Were you?
Yeah. So I know
Baptist?
I know all of that.
No, you weren't. You just said you weren't.
I was.
Didn't you say you weren't?
I wasn't what?
Religious.
I'm not anymore. I'm in my 30s now. But I was religious probably deep into my 20s.
Still Baptist? What flavor?
No, probably. I was non-denominational pretty much in college, but I think I was like leaning like really into like the what do they call it? Reformed as in like John Calvin kind of reformed.
John Calvin is not. That's like Calvinist. That's like much. That's
what
old.
They called it. That's what they called. That's what they're called. Reformed.
You're telling me that you went to some branch of Calvinism where you're preordained to go to heaven? Isn't that what basic Calvinism is? So like you're part of a cool club.
I mean, I don't know if it was cool. It depressed me a lot, but it depressed me a lot. But it's no. Initially, I found peace in it, and then it depressed me a lot.
What was depressing about it?
It's depressing that you just it's not even up to anybody.
Huh? It's not what?
Anything that's not up to you or me. It's like
there's
no.
Ain't that kind of freeing though? Like, can't blame me. Fuck it.
It is.
Either I'm going to heaven or I ain't. And,
it is.
And honestly, if God's gonna fucking put you in hell for not being chosen,
yeah,
they can go fuck themselves. Take that, God.
I didn't say it.
I come from the Southern Baptist tradition. No, it's all fire and brimstone. You just got to accept Jesus into your heart.
Yeah, you guys are like you guys like the more liberal Calvinists almost. You guys are pretty close, like the Baptists.
Yeah, Baptists are probably
Baptists.
better than Southern Baptists because Southern Baptists came about because of racism.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's.
Why do
you think it's called Southern Baptist?
What are black churches then? I thought they were.
They
Baptists.
are. There was a reconciliation at some point where, like, we shouldn't be racist anymore.
After the Civil War.
This is my crib notes for religious for American Protestant religion. So I am probably very not. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But that's kind of what I gathered.
I just understand what I've experienced, and it's pretty wild that we have like the most varieties of Christianity in the world.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That's part of capitalism, baby. You can't pick and choose what you want.
Yeah, there's a product for everyone. Maybe we could start our own religion. I thought about it.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ripe.
You do have a cultish leader look. Do you like read up about like cults and stuff?
Yeah, I know. One of my crowning achievements in life was at a trivia night where they're like, our two special subjects are cults and serial killers. I was like, I have never been more primed in my life.
You're like, guys, I got this. To everybody.
I was like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Albert Fish, he would stick needles into his taint. I don't know if you knew that.
Who?
Albert Fish. He was a child killing cannibal.
Oh shit.
If I can put it summarily.
He's a serial killer, not a cult.
I think he was only arrested for one, but he claimed more.
Oh yeah.
But he wasn't a cult, no.
You think he was fibbing the numbers? Like he was like, I ate 300 children.
I think
and they're like, no, you didn't.
Well, he at least ate one, which is already bad.
Yeah. Who was the kid, his or his brother or something?
No, it was a neighbor's kid, a daughter.
Holy shit, dude.
And then I don't know if this is appropriate, but then he wrote a letter to the family, like saying how delicious she was. So he was a bad man. He truly was a bad man.
Did they catch him, or he told them? He was like, guess what?
Well, no, they left. I think the daughter he was going to babysit for him, and then he just fucking terrorized her. Yeah.
I mean,
on that note,
Jesus, how old was the kid?
Oh, she was a little girl, like 5, probably.
Fuck, he just ate the kid. Like he knew he was getting caught. That's a fucking psychopath.
He didn't
even try to get away with it.
Yeah, he was a masochist. And so that's why I don't know if he ate other children, because if he's going to do that with one, if he's going to spill the beans on that one,
he's fibbing.
Yeah,
he's fibbing. Damn, that's crazy. I was watching what's that? I was watching Nexium. Nexium, you know that new?
Oh, the new cult with
Smallville girl. Not the main girl. I don't
fucking watch Smallville,
dude.
Don't
sidebar as a term they use in law. I don't even know I'm using this correctly, but when I first moved to Long Beach a long time ago, I had no friends, so I decided I was going to watch all 10 seasons of Smallville. and it wasn't fun. But I was like, I'm gonna watch every single episode.
I did
That's
that with
power.
Daria,
Oh, really?
which is better than fucking Smallville.
I'm sure at least it's cartoon, man.
Yeah. Do you want to go ask him if I can smoke up here for me?
No, I don't.
Should I just smoke?
Dude, there's cameras up here.
I don't. Well, there is a fucking camera up here. Yeah.
No, I think there are cameras in. I think I saw.
Okay. Okay. I thought you were being.
I mean, you could do it, but we might get kicked out.
You're right. I don't want to get kicked out. Not yet. I don't want to.
What was like? Oh yeah, next thing, and I was watching this documentary, and it's hard for me not to think like these ladies are like IQ's 2 standard deviations under the mean. If you're catching my drift.
Well, how do you find people like that? Just curious. How do you market a cult?
I think it's almost like a religion. I mean, I'm guessing you don't really remember the time when you were very involved. Do you remember that time?
Well, no, and I mean, there's 2 ways we can go here. We're at a branch. I can either go back to being a child, or I can go back to when I was at that fucking camp, or that place. That one time I went to church. That this got us off on this. To circle back, I'm circling back.
Circle back. Do whatever you need. There's no rules in this podcast.
He gave me an entire list of rules for this.
No smoking.
Yeah, no smoking, no being yourself. No, it was I had gone to. It was one of the times where it's like, my mom's like, we got to go to church. I'm like, God damn it. And
how old are you?
I would have been in probably middle school. Okay. So probably, I'd say about 7th grade. We go there to church. I'm sitting in silence during the Sunday service for teens.
Oh, yeah.
And they all know each other because they all there and give a shit, and you're a new kid. And I'm not there to make friends. I'm there to fulfill some sort of obligation to my mom.
I'm there to listen to the word of God, and that's it.
And then they're like, let's go. And I'm like, what? But I had no wherewithal to say I don't know what we're doing. And so we get up and we march down the hall, and then it opens up into the big church where the people are having their proper service.
Oh, you join the adults.
But we join on stage because we're there to perform something, and I had never practiced with them. I don't know what we're doing, and they begin to do this stupid rendition of "Lean on Me." You know the song "Lean on Me," and I'm sitting there trying to like mimic their movements and like trying to sing the words that I don't know. I'm like looking around. I'm like, I hate every second of this. It's wretchedly awkward.
That's crazy that they let you up there. They should have been like,
they should have not let me up there. Yeah. But I guess. I mean, even to this day, I put off very confident vibes. Like, oh, here's someone who can pick this shit up.
Yeah.
And that was the other weird church moment was younger, and it was at a youth retreat with a concert.
Yeah.
And we're in a hotel room, and I'm in the youth director's bed. There's other people in the room. But we're watching Forrest Gump, and I remember that vividly. And I was like, okay, I don't want to be here at all.
Oh, shit.
Almost all of my church experiences are like not wanting to be there.
Yeah.
Totally not wanting to be there.
Wait, did the story just end there? I thought it was about to get sexual.
No, it didn't get sexual. I had a short, I think it's kind of a, you know, like that hacky joke where you're like, oh, but the priest didn't touch me kind of thing. Yeah, I could go that route, but it's not really worth it.
Well, you were on the bed.
I was on the bed, but not under the covers. Just under a tarp, just on a tarp.
Yeah, okay.
No, it was stupid. I remember watching Forrest Gump in a heightened state of anxiety.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to leave.
Damn. Yeah. Well, so I was thinking like the cult stuff is kind of like a religion.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, I guess. But I also, it's almost like any community that you're very
That's true. You can have a
in.
secular cult, yeah.
Yeah, like if we're very involved in like a community, like nothing outside of that really exists, if that make any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's weird for cults because they get adults in. So I'm like, these guys are dumb. Like I understood why I went to the church. I went there for school, and like a lot of the kids went to the church there. And a lot of those kids were my friends, so it's just an easy transition for me.
So your parents weren't religious at all, but that's the private
dad's
school.
My dad's like a Taoist or one of those Asian religions.
I believe it's called Taoist. But so then you got indoctrinated at school?
Yeah, basically,
nice.
teaching you this, you know, and yeah, my mom's like atheist, or she says. So yeah, basically like learn about like God and stuff through it, and then I started going to church and youth group and stuff like that, and it carried over when I went to college, and then
you look like you became a leader in your group. No,
I didn't. It's crazy. So this is one of the craziest things that you brought up. Good thing you brought up. I think at my church here in San Francisco, at one point, I probably could have, but when I was younger, I had an earring. And then I think one of the pastors was like, "Hey, you know, you want to be like a youth leader?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, sure." And he's like, "Oh, you have to get rid of an earring." And just
my God!
Just for the fact of that, I was like, "No."
Good on you. That's the that is I much accolades for that.
It's a weird hill to die, but I was just like, no, because I was older than I think I was in college, and then I realized I was like, you know, a lot of these kids' parents are like wearing earrings. Like, what are you trying to tell these kids? Like, their dad's like a terrible person, because these are younger guys now, right? Like, I'm getting in college, and then, you know. So I just said no. And
you're just looking out for the earring wearing dads out there.
Yeah. I was gonna be a Bible study leader, or I wanted to in college actually, but then the lady who
what college you go to?
I went to UC Santa Cruz.
Okay.
So I missed out on a lot of fucking pottery.
Yeah, big religious community down there.
Yeah. But like this, so like have you ever seen like those religious groups on campus, like Campus Crusades or like InterVarsity?
Yeah.
So how they obviously have an organization that they hire people that come and like mentor like college students. But the lady who was mentoring me like
indoctrinate.
Yeah, she was just like she told me, she was like, God told me you weren't ready. And then, you know what I said? I was like, but God told me I was ready.
Yeah, why the fuck would he tell you and not me, you piece of shit?
Have you seen the episode of
man.
Have you seen the episode of Simpsons with like Joan of Arc?
I don't know. Probably. It depends on how old it is, truth be told.
It's pretty old, but basically like I don't know, I guess God told Joan of Arc to do whatever she fucking did. I don't know what she did. Fought for the French army. Yeah. And then she was on trial, and then they get into a room, and then like the other guy was just like, God told me to do this, and then God had to appear, and he was like, "Oh, this is awkward. I didn't think I'd be caught in this situation." But yeah, I was like religious for a long time, but I didn't have any weird, like that kind of weird. I like really appreciated my time actually. You know, the community building part of it.
That's the stupidest shit I ever heard.
You want to fight?
Yeah, I do.
It's great. You end up like being friends with people like you never.
Do you want to do the Bay Area's first scripture battle? It's like a roast battle, but we'll just use scripture.
I don't know too many.
Well, we would bone up on it. Does that make sense? No.
No.
You know you try.
No. But yeah, that's the religious part. But yeah, I just don't know how you get like an adult into it, unless there's a whole giant.
I think Craigslist,
a hole into life.
Well, I think if you're consistently smooth talking people into letting them think they're okay, but there's a hole in their life that only you can fill. Yeah. Then that's how you get adults into your cult.
Really? But it always ends up with them like trying to fuck all the ladies. And then
who's them? Because I want to be the leader who fucks all the ladies. But that's how I'm not. That's why my cult won't go off the rails.
Well, that's all of them.
I will only select a few.
That's all. Well, Nexium, for example, that guy's.
Well, L. Ron Hubbard, he had the Sea Org. If you know
I don't know what.
Do you know Scientology?
Not a lot, except Tom Cruise, huge fan. Not a huge fan.
He's one of the 10 listeners to this podcast.
Oh man, tell me more.
He does his own stunts.
Of the Scientology. Yeah, dude. The power of Scientology.
What's it called? I don't know. There was a time in college when I was reading a lot about Scientology and about what it did wrong. You know, back before people were really, you know, into cults. This was like years ago.
Okay. You started reading before it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was always reading before it was cool. I was an early adopter of the English language.
Okay.
But real quick, when can we take a break so I can get another beer?
No breaks, dude. You need another.
So you're just going to sit up here in silence when I get a beer?
I mean, I have a pause, but I can start it again. We can. You want to get a beer?
Yeah, I do.
I'll let you go get a beer, if only if you ask him if you could smoke up here.
Okay. He really had no qualms about it.
How do we get here? Just a couple of dudes smoking inside. Kind of nice. We did not just have sex. If that's if that's what everybody's thinking out there, we're just
hearkening back to a different era.
Yeah,
back when it was cool to smoke inside.
Where America was America, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Amen. Oh my God, that's loud.
That is very
karaoke.
loud.
So I'm gonna need you to speak up to me.
I am. Oh, you can barely hear me. I'm mumbling.
Well, I mean, you're talking at Dorian.
Okay.
Dorian levels.
Seduction level, you mean?
Yeah. I feel like I'm a Cantonese only small time what is it, airport restaurant worker.
That's right, dude. Just smoking in the back. So, should people go to law school?
No, they should not. Next question.
You got to give me more than that. How come?
Because it's a drag. Like, this is not interesting, but you should only go to law school if you do not have to pay loans, which means you should get a high enough LSAT score in which you can go to a school that has a good employment record.
Right. Top 10. Top 15.
Which is already gamed by these entities, these schools. And then you go from there, and like, if you don't want to incur debt because of law school, because it's a wretched job and it's a wretched group of people, except for my friends who are cool.
You went to a top school, right?
Fuck no, I went to Hastings.
Isn't Hastings Berkeley?
No, Hastings is Hastings, and we're changing our name because he's a war criminal.
Is he?
Yeah, he was known for being very anti Native American.
Anti what?
Native American.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Wait, what is Berkeley's law school called? Or they don't even have one.
It's probably called Berkeley School of Law now. It used to be called Bolt, BOALT, Bolt. It might still be the same. Huh?
To look cool smoking this?
I mean, you look cool already, but that only
thanks,
enhances
dude.
it. Yeah.
Thanks. So people shouldn't go. People shouldn't go unless they're.
Huh?
They shouldn't go unless they're geniuses.
No, anyone can be a lawyer. I know that because I've seen. I mean, I'm not the smartest man, and I've seen I've worked with a lot of shitheads, usually on a contentious basis, where you're talking to these people and like you don't know what you're talking about, that kind of shit. And do you want to deal with assholes every day? Or even if you're not dealing with assholes, you deal with people who pretend to be assholes, and so that's even shittier too.
Mm-hmm.
But
pays well.
Let it.
Not really.
I mean, it does. But then you have to think about loans. Like you have to.
How much is law school average?
I'd rather not say, because it only goes up thanks to interest.
Yeah. I mean, the day you get out of it, it's more than $100,000.
It can be, and in my situation, it is. Yeah. Shit. I'm never going to pay that off.
Yeah.
So
how much? What's the average salary? Like $100,000.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So you're basically 10 years if you live in a studio and save every dollar?
Who, me?
Just in general for people that actually want to pay it off.
Oh yeah, I don't save shit. I live like a hedonist.
Okay. Damn. So don't go to law.
Yeah,
So what do you think about college in general? Overrated, underrated?
I think it's... Well, I like college. I went to college with the understanding of... I had like that old school notion of like... Maybe it's not old school, but like the idea is you're going there to expand your horizons. So I was like, what's the degree that is the most expansive? Everything can be filtered through, and that was English.
Oh, that's where you got English?
Yeah.
That's actually what I was thinking. If I could do it all over again, I would go and get an English degree instead.
I mean, I totally enjoy my time in college. I enjoyed English literature. I enjoyed the wide range of topics, what you explored. I never went to college with the idea of I'm going to get a job after this, even though I know that's what you do.
Yeah.
But it was always like, for me, it was always about the idea of what can you do to be a more complete person kind of idea, like just become more expansive in your scope of the world.
And you feel like you got that from college?
I think so, and from moving. I think well, the thing is, it was the same impulse that carried me through college. The classes I took, I always took max credit hours. I always took a wide variety of classes.
Yeah.
I always it's not how you should do this cigarette.
I wonder how much of it actually picks up, because these mics are like...
I think it's going to be good. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because if or direction, the karaoke's blasting right now, people. If you can't, unless the audio is picking it up.
Yeah. But I think I don't think it's too bad.
No.
For them.
This fucker's singing's bad.
Yeah. I thought they were going to be dead today. Is that Tay singing?
I don't. Not Tay, no. Not Tay. This ain't Tay.
Wait, so you actually, on your perspective, you felt like your world widened and you got a broader perspective.
Well, that was the plan.
College.
That's why I was like, what's the way to take in the most of everything? I was originally going to be, I was like, it'd be kind of cool to be English and mathematics major.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and I thought it was funny, the idea of like taking two classes you've taken all your life and just like doing that, continuing. Like you've been doing math all this time, you've been doing English all this time, might as well expand into it. But right. I cut the mathematics early.
How come?
Because the class I got into, like I did really well in calculus.
Okay.
The class I got into conflicted with Japanese, which I wanted to take with my friend. And at the time, big anime lover,
Oh, of course. I don't know why I did that accent. I'm not Japanese. Japanese.
There must be Chinese shows somewhere.
Yeah. That's crazy. I have like the different point of view of college, I think. Actually, looking back at it, I think college is a total waste of time. And I actually think college is good for people that don't know what they want to do in life, because the system is kind of rigged for people that go to college. So I would say like go to college and get a bullshit degree. We don't know what to do with your life, and if you have the money to do it. But like just looking back at it, I didn't really learn much from it. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't. Like I feel like it's such a scam. You can learn I've got multiple degrees, and one of the degrees like I got an MBA, but I could tell you I could learn.
Well, an MBA is worse than a real college degree. I hate the School of Business. I hate business schools.
Like what though? Like this, besides because technical, like you don't really need to learn. You don't really need to know anything to go to get a job.
And business.
Or in anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's why my opinion of college was not about getting a job. That was never what I wanted to do. My goal was never to be like, oh, I'm going to go to school to get a job, because I never. That's not.
So you're just thinking about getting into debt?
Well, no, that's my interest. I love debt. Okay. No, my thing was that if I can smoke one, surely I can smoke two.
Yeah. He's like, that's one too many. He comes up here. There's like 20 cigarettes.
Fucking fire department's coming. Why don't you watch where you put your fucking cigarette? Don't let it sit on the coaster.
Why?
Well, let it prop up like that. The way you,
it is propped up.
Yeah,
like
because
that.
I did that for you.
No. I just did it right
for
now.
a lot of times. You had it like fucking
burning.
Oh my god!
I'm not a smoker, dude. I'm just doing this for the views. Look, this is how people. You know when people smoke a roach, they're like this.
Yeah, this is for Joe Camel, and this is.
I'm done with this. This is the best bar in the world, man. We probably shouldn't tell people that
we're at Edinburgh Castle. You
Yeah,
should cut that out. Cut out where we're at.
I can't. We're like 40 minutes into. I can't. I'm not gonna look for this part.
We are at. No, we're not saying the name here. That's why we're not saying it at the top where we say it. The name of the place. We should cut it. Yeah.
I don't. How many? Do you think people have watched to the point where we're just smoking cigarettes?
No. You're right.
Unless I use that as my thumbnail, just two dudes smoking cigarettes. Talking about religion in school.
There we go. Yeah. No, I come from like first. I come from like I was like the one who was going to go to college, and I was going to make the most of it. And my most of it was not get a job. My most of it was like self-development, like the idea of like learn from a wide range of sources, because that's you're opening up. The college is the opening up of the world to you.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I viewed it. I mean, I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's how I viewed it as a 18-year-older.
Okay, as coming from someone that's Asian American, and like my parents coming from another country, like it was just kind of expected. Like it was just like go to college, get a job. And I went through like a little crisis because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Initially I thought I was just gonna do computer science, and I quickly like realized I was
not
retarded. I took a Java class. This is the first time I ever failed a class. I took a Java class first quarter freshman year. I didn't even go to the final. I was like, there's no hope.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just like kind of meandered like through like a bunch of like GEs, which is good. I was like pre-med for a while, and then I was just like, this is kind of boring. I was going to do film for a while, but then this lady gave me a D because I forgot to turn in one assignment. And she saved me, actually. I should go back and thank her. I could have been making shitty film movies right now, which is like also another like stupid degree to get in. You can learn everything.
Yeah, that's an all-the-job degree, right?
I mean, I think most jobs you don't need unless you need like.
No,
like,
I agree.
Besides
I agree with you on that. I think a highly technical job probably needs you to have a good solid base before you actually are.
Yeah.
You need to prove that you can do it, and then you need to be able to do it, hit the ground running. But that's not what I did. I was like,
yeah.
And that's why I was like English lit. Then I got a kind of a minor certificate in creative writing for the exact same reason.
Right.
That's why I went to English. Was like, everything you learn can be funneled through a creative thing.
Yeah.
And so I used to be big into poetry writing and short stories. Maybe not
Nerd.
that much. Yeah, no. But that's when I got into comedy, or not when it's one of the reasons why I got into comedy.
Oh, okay. I don't think I would. If I was getting English, I would probably do more writing focused. Because like I would read like English lit in high school, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like till this day, as an adult, I didn't read a lot of books when I was in high school. I did a lot. I was in AP English, and I literally did not. I read like 2 books. I did a whole. My final for my English lit AP class was on what's that guy's name? Fitzgerald.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Great Gatsby guy.
Yeah. I wrote a whole like almost 100-page like thesis on him. I didn't pick up a single fucking book. I just looked up themes, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna talk about the rich people and whatever.
Yeah, I took it all seriously. Like I wasn't necessarily good at it, but like my favorite paper was for a children's lit class, and
this was in college.
This was in college. It was on it's actually one of my favorite things I've ever written because it's so stupid. Is like the value of a secret from the secret, like an analysis of the Secret Garden. So, which I think is a great book.
Yeah.
Secret Garden's a good book, folks. And
what was it about? I feel like I do know it, but I'm thinking about the Giving Tree.
yeah, there's this bratty young girl who goes to live. I think probably because she's like distant family at an estate in some forlorn part of England, and there she meets this boy. Eventually, who his father kind of has him tucked away. I think he was the cause, or the mother died in childbirth, and he's very frail and wouldn't let him out.
Yeah.
But then the father's always away, and at times they discover the garden, and they bring him into it, and they realize there's this world amongst themselves that they can have together.
I think I've read it.
And it's the value of the secret that they kept that is what the focus of my really bad paper.
Oh, but you liked it.
Well, I think it's a good book.
I love how you like had such a great time in college. I was like jaded the moment I walked in. I realized like there are a bunch of people that just can't write for shit, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm in college with these fools.
Oh yeah.
I did my best writing when I was a senior in high school, because I was like, AP Lit is so hard. How much more difficult is college is going to be? And so I worked my ass off. But once I got into college, I realized what it took to get a B, and it wasn't a lot.
Oh it was my first year of college because I found high school. I was like it was skate through. But when I was like, I want to go to college, I'm going to apply myself. I did not drink at all my first year of college.
Oh, really?
I didn't do anything. I did do a lot of live action role playing where I would pretend to be either a werewolf, mage, or vampire any given night. There was a time, and there's quite a few odd things that happened in my first year of college. I had to do a lot of calibrating as a human being.
Dude, you're nerdier than me, and I was religious.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't know if you...
I know what LARPing is.
Oh. Hey, what's up?
What's up, man? I know what LARPing is, dude. Go ahead, continue.
Oh yeah, so I got into this world where it's like I would go play this live action role playing game like 4 nights a week in college because all my friends would be out partying. I was like, no, I'll go pretend to be a vampire.
But I'm guessing you made really good friends with those.
A couple of them.
Nerds.
Yeah, that's right. It was the first time I went to. It was through them I got to go to Outland, which was a Columbus bar / BDSM club. And the first time you walk in there, you see like this BDSM bar on the side over there, and you see like someone getting like lackadaisically whipped. You're like, ugh. But yeah, let's go dance.
Wait, so
I was dead sober too, which is horrible.
How did you get into LARPing? In college? Like
no, in high school. Or
really?
No, because we always used to play Vampire the Masquerade.
Don't know what that is.
I don't need to get into the details, the weeds here.
Did you make your own costume, or your mom made it?
There ain't no costumes in this one. I'll tell you this though. Oh, so it all kind of ties into this because eventually I was the student speaker for my law school graduation.
Yeah.
They voted me as the student speaker, the whole school.
Yeah.
And that's because it's a popularity contest. Hell yeah. But mostly you had to do like a 3-minute kind of speech.
Yeah.
To try out.
Okay.
And like it then gets posted into like all the other students can watch them and then vote on their favorite out of like 20 of us.
Okay.
And everyone else did like their proto speech was them talking about how much they loved Hastings. My friend sent me a text like, "Hey, we're doing the tryouts now. You want to come do it?" And so I went there and I did like 3 or 5 minutes of me talking about the psychosexual dynamics of LARPing, and like. These are weird people who do it.
Oh, so people in law school do it too?
No, they didn't even know about it.
Okay.
But because it was a popularity contest, no matter what I said, like people either watching, they're like, "Oh, that's weird and funny."
Yeah.
Or they knew me and they were going to vote for me regardless. and so I got that going.
Yeah.
But back then, we're talking about costumes, right?
Yeah.
Do you know Vampire the Masquerade?
No, I know what vampires are, and I know what a masquerade is.
All right. Well, there's clans of vampires.
Oh boy!
And one of them is the clan Tremere, which is what I was at the Buzz coffee shop in Cincinnati. This is in high school. We would drive down from Fairfield to Cincinnati to do this LARPing.
Yeah.
In which we're at a coffee shop.
Back then, people would describe those kids as gay.
Some of them were. I mean, and I'll tell you this, Dorian, I know you're trying to make a facetious joke about it, but yes, LARPing does accept outsiders. Anyway.
Keep going.
Anyway.
There's a clan.
I was the leader, de facto, of the Tremere clan, which were known as the Wizards of Vampires. This attracts a certain type of weirdo.
Yeah. That's you're like it's like a niche of a niche.
Exactly.
You know?
And so I would be in this coffee shop around like people when I'm like 17 or 18.
Yeah.
And this guy, nominally another Tremere vampire, folks.
Okay.
He, another member of my blood lineage. And I was embarrassed to be around him normally. And even though I was already embarrassed, I already knew that what I was doing was embarrassing, so that we had fun. It was just fun to fucking do it.
You're like with your fake vampire too, and you're oh fuck, this guy again.
Well, no, I was
this
like
nerd.
Well, this guy comes up and he starts talking to me about his Nordic rune magic and about the different runes of Nordic rune magic, and I was like, look, man, I get it, but we're in public. And you're wearing leather bracers and a leather vest with a bunch of runes on it with no shirt on underneath it.
And you were
I'm like, you're breaking the vampire code.
Okay,
you got to dress normal.
You were in your Clark Kent outfit.
Yeah,
okay.
I was like, you got to dress normal. These people might. And I was like, then and don't ever talk to me in public about Nordic rune magic again. And that was the life of a Tremere, de facto Tremere leader in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Circa 1999.
How many people were in your clan? Your vamp clan?
He was like the only one.
Oh, really?
Well, canonically, there's many, but in terms of the actual game, there's like 2.
Okay. And how many other clans did you guys play with? Or you guys were still looking
Don't get me started. So the Tremere clan back then would have been part of the Camarilla vampire organization, which has canonically 7 clans involved.
And did you?
Tremere is one of them.
Were there people actually like 7 groups of clans that you were playing with?
Yeah, there's going to be at least probably this game. There were at least probably at least 12 people who played. So each clan was going to be represented.
So what do you guys do when you guys meet up? You guys just fight?
No. Because in the vampiric tradition, there's what's called Elysium, a safe space where vampires can meet. And that is the basis of how the LARP works.
Oh, so you just dress up and you go to like a party.
You don't have to dress up. You go to the coffee shop to pretend to be a vampire while other people are there. And then when conflict breaks out, you play rock, paper, scissors to determine who's the winner.
Oh, shit. So
that's what makes it a live-action role-playing game.
Okay, because when I think of LARPing, I think of people dressed like the
knights and shit. Maybe.
Yeah, and then they're hitting each other.
No, this is a non. That's a boffer LARP, BOFFER, and that's where you hit each other with foam weapons and shit.
Oh, dude, I think I did play it at a. I didn't play it.
Yeah, that's nerdy.
No,
you're trash.
There was this guy at my friend was a residential advisor, and there was this kid that was in LARPing, and he didn't challenge me. I challenged him to a sword fight, and he beat my ass. I got my ass.
Challenge you to a what?
Like a sword fight or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is so dumb. And then like he would whooped my ass, dude.
Okay, yeah,
There might be a video somewhere on Facebook. I'm gonna have to look it up tonight.
there was a time in Florida where, so one of the low points, a nadir, if you will, of my life was when I had to flee Japan, and I
That was
ended up
the storyline.
I ended up in Florida. No, this is an actual fact.
Oh, you
and
went to Japan for a while
I lived in Japan for about 2 years.
for the anime.
For the anime and to teach them how to speak proper English.
Oh snap!
That was the so to get a work visa in Japan, you have to be able to bring a skill that they are not able to supply domestically, and that skill is native level English speaking.
Yeah.
And so I taught English for a good bit, and but after I left that, I ended up in Florida because the company went bankrupt, and I had no
English?
money. Yeah.
Oh fuck!
Nova, Nova.
Okay.
I love spelling apparently, and ended up in Florida, and I was like bored out of my mind, and I hooked up with the other LARPers in Fort Myers, Florida, and these people are weirder than I had imagined.
The sword larpers.
No, these are vampire LARPers, but I ended up hanging out with like this guy and his ex-wife and her new boyfriend all the time.
Oh, shit,
and some stringy-haired motherfuckers. They're good people, but weird as fuck.
Yeah, even for you.
I mean, not even too weird for me because I have a pretty high threshold for being too weird because I can be like, yeah, whatever, man. You do you. Just leave me out of it.
Yeah.
But like the only time I ever, let me tell you this. This is a neat fact. Not really, but the only time I ever been in Miami was when I was pretending to be a vampire. So I never actually visited as a real human being. I was only a pretend vampire.
Just with some lady with his ex and
her boyfriend. Yeah.
Just the four of you guys.
And it was the ex-husband that would drive us all. Lord knows I don't drive.
Oh,
so like.
shit.
The one thing, I think you know that I don't drive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you learn to be very accepting of people because you're like, they're going to cart your ass around.
Well, thanks for accepting me, dude.
Well, Dorian, you're normal enough. But this was in like Southeast Florida where if I didn't have them, I had no way out. And so like, we'd be in this ex-husband's convertible. In the back seat's the boyfriend. I'm sitting next to him. The ex-wife's in the front seat. They're all bickering together, but one guy's making his own chainmail, like crimping it together with pliers. And you're like, life sucks. I hate Florida so much.
Is that when you hung up the vampire cape?
That when I came to San Francisco, I tried to find the LARP group here, but I didn't really enjoy it as much as I used to.
Damn, that was like 5 years ago.
No, this would have been 13 or so years ago.
Okay.
Maybe I should get back into it though.
Yeah. Maybe they'll hire you for like a vampire gig.
I mean, I don't know. I probably shouldn't be throwing out any cool vampire terms at you.
That's wild. That sounds way cooler than what was that huge movie about the vampires and the werewolves?
Twilight.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
way cooler.
I mean, honestly, I bet they used some of that IP for their own little bullshit.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I was. Did you watch the Twilight movies?
Nope.
Oh, I did.
I already know enough about vampire werewolf conflict. I don't need to watch a movie about it.
Dude,
I lived it, baby.
They didn't die in the sun. They just turned sparkles.
Yeah, that's stupid. They should burn.
I watched like 2 movies and I was like, I have no idea what's going on.
Depending upon the level of sunlight, you take a certain amount of D10 damage and aggravated damage. This is the rules from the tabletop
That's the D&D
game.
part.
Well, that's the Vampire the Masquerade part. This isn't D&D. Oh. I do that too.
Damn, dude, that's wild. Didn't know that about you. But you hung it up in Florida. Well, out here.
I mostly hung it up in Florida. It was I don't know, just
how did you even get into it? That's the
LARPing or Vampire the Masquerade. Well, D&D was the
Same.
gateway
Well,
in middle school. Then
okay.
I bought the Vampire the Masquerade. But you have to think about it this way. You love the idea of playing your character at the tabletop. But then imagine, what if we're walking around pretending to be our person? Next thing you know, I'm in it's called Midwinter. It was like Midwinter Festival or some bullshit. It's like the vampires in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah. And I actually went with a friend. We went over to Indiana or Illinois for this convention, and we're all pretending to be vampires. Like it's like a room of 100 people pretending to be vampires, and
That must have been the most fun you ever had. You're like, there's so many of us.
and what part and parcel? No,
There's 100 of you.
there were, but it's also weird because part and parcel of it is all these weirdos and their weirdness and the way the game is kind of like gothic punk or where the fuck it is, and you have like you're walking around, you see like people leading people on leashes, and you're like, hey, that's just vampire life. You know, you're ghouls. I don't know if you know much about ghouls.
They're ghouls as in they're ugly.
No, ghouls as in they're
they're
humans who've been
monsters.
they're ghouls who have been given a taste of vampire blood and therefore become bound to you.
How are the chicks in that scene? Hotties?
Goth hotties, yeah.
Nice.
Some of them. Some of them are just beasts.
Oh, ghouls.
Ghouls in the proper sense. No, I don't mean to disparage anyone. You know, what I love about it, it's a place for outcasts.
What are the breakdowns? It's like 60% men, 80% men.
Hard to say at this point. Probably more men than women, but not like 80-20, probably more like 60-40 or something like that.
Oh, that's pretty good odds. I should go out there and meet some ladies. Definitely like a 80-20 spectrum though, right?
For what? Hotness?
Autism.
Oh, spectrum. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and the age, dude.
There was I believe I saw this. It was and I'm not casting aspersions on anyone, but there was like this guy being led around on a leash by this woman with Down syndrome, shit like that. You know?
Oh shit.
And I mean that's proper enough. I don't mind it.
Yeah. What about the age though? I feel like there'd be like 80-year-old like creepy dudes trying.
There's all kinds of fucking creeps. Age notwithstanding, you know.
Are there like a lot of old people there? Like just
No, there's not a lot of old people.
oh.
It's a game where you play rock paper scissors basically.
I know. People play games. I play.
Are you
PS4.
an old ass man?
I'm older than I was before.
Wow,
Dude. I mean, like 20 years.
wow, time.
Well, 20 years ago, you don't know any adults that play video games, right?
Yeah, I don't know what point you're making though.
I'm just saying.
I don't even know you're making a valid point.
Old people play games is what I'm trying to say.
You're telling me that an 80-year-old man, and I'm not going to say there wasn't an 80-year-old man because it takes all kinds. You have to understand the LARP world is about. These aren't society's creme de la creme. We're pretending to be vampires in weird places.
We got a lawyer in there. I'm sure there's a doctor in there.
I think there are. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to come from a weird kind of a weirdness to you.
Oh, what I wanted to ask you is, like cults, like when people join a cult to get really excited about this, like what the cult they're involved in. Did you try to like convert people into? All right, come hang out with me in this vampire group. You ever do that? Like, were you ever like excited to tell your friends, "Hey, you guys got to come check out this vampire thing, dude"?
No, because I went to college. At my first year was at OSU, Ohio State, and I went there with my friends Trent, Adam, his name's AJ, and Justin. And they already knew what we did, and Trent would play, but he wasn't into it as much as me.
Yeah.
Nor was Adam. And so I kind of just kept going because I kind of made friends with him, but I also just, like, I didn't mind sitting around and, like, doing nothing, which is a lot of what these games can be if you're not, like, important to the people who run it.
Yeah.
There's going to be, like, weird scene politics when it comes to LARPing. A lot of, like I said, I gave my speech about the psychosexual dynamics of LARPing. That includes like the power plays between people's characters and the people that they are outside of it. But all that, not much. But like the friends that I would tell about it were the ones who already knew about it. And so I wasn't trying to recruit people. I didn't want people to know because I was already embarrassed of it. Like I loved it, but I was embarrassed by it.
Yeah. What? So when you gave it up, what filled in that love? You know, when you usually give up something, you had to take on something. Was that comedy?
Was that
law
usually
school?
what happens? I don't know.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I gave up my religious community, and it was.
What did you give up your religious community for?
Nothing. I just didn't have a community for a while. Well, that was
there you go. You just fucking countered your old
no,
statement.
but now I have comedy. But there was like a good long period of time where I was just.
That doesn't mean you filled a hole. That just means that you decided to do something else.
But this is now my new religion. Like I've accepted the fact. This is kind of sad. Like even if I'm going to LA, I've accepted the fact that I'm going to keep doing this because it's my only way out to get like social. Like it's comedy. Like I do love comedy, and I want to be whatever. Like the next Seinfeld,
the next Bill Hicks.
Well, yeah, whatever. Like I like to get good at it and be successful at it, but I also know that a lot of
that's you working at something. That's not like you filling a hole though. That's filling a hole. No,
it is. I'm filling a
you're
whole
telling
community.
Okay.
Like it's,
your feelings. I can't speak to them.
What's
You're right.
It's the community. It's the I'm lacking a social aspect in my life that I'm getting from comedy. So I'm trying to get better, but at the same time, like if everybody hated me, like I'll probably be not doing it.
Well, I've never felt this. I never felt this compulsion to have a community because I think that's weak.
I mean, I have no friends.
That's funny because I have friends, and I think.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of friends, but I'm like, I don't have too many friends, is what I'm saying.
Because you didn't try. Now you're about to go to West Hollywood. I hope you try harder.
You don't have too many friends in comedy, do you? You have enough friends outside of comedy.
I have friends. I have a good amount from school. I have friends from back in the day. If we have to do like a set kind of thing to it.
Yeah. Then you guys still hang out and keep in touch. Oh, but you do a lot of D&D.
It's a lot of digital shit. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of Discord. Comedy, I know some people, like or at least people I am cordial with, for sure.
Yeah. I can't. I don't have that. I can't get that. I need like real life human connection. Like you know what I mean? Like texting, and it just doesn't do it for me.
Well, that's a shame.
I'm just saying, like that's not how I don't feel like a connection with friendship like through text message, which is a lot harder because a lot of my friends back in the day are married now, or they just moved away. So it's, you know. But anyway, yeah, comedy that kind of fills that like social aspect of my needs.
Well, I like this. I got to say, I love the social aspect of it. I don't know if it fills needs.
Oh, it does for me. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just saying for me.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it, and it's not like something I.
Yeah. Well, the LARPing was filling something inside.
Yeah, because I love games. I love pretending to be something.
So you just have like another game that you're playing, or some other hobby to take that.
Well, I think I was big into role playing games, and I love the idea of the next step to it, which is like where you're walking around and you're talking in character.
D&D
so it's like bad acting.
It's a gateway drug.
Exactly. Yeah, to even bigger, nerdier shit. Yeah. I find it. I do love the community aspect of comedy.
Right.
But
are you in acting, or like what are you doing to fill that fantasy aspect of what you like? Or you just
it's just performing. It probably goes back down to some root idea of performing for people.
Okay.
But I think I would, if I had to choose, I'd choose comedy over LARPing.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
you can't be a professional LARPer.
No, you cannot. Yeah.
Unless you're in the movie, like Role Models. That movie is so good, by the way. Have you seen it?
Yeah, they have boffer LARPing in it.
What's BOFA stand for?
Boffers is the term you use for a hitting weapon in that. Like, it's like, if it's a boffer LARP, it's a LARP where you actually go and hit people. And it was actually the boyfriend of the woman, ex-wife of the other guy in the car.
Yeah.
That...
Well, he's making chainmail.
Yeah, he would invite me to do some of those stuff. He's like, let's practice in the park. I was like, I'm in Florida. I have no job. I have no money. Yeah, let's go hit each other with foam weapons.
Just the two of you guys.
Well, the others would come too. They were a thruple, you know.
Oh, the other. And then do people just like watch you?
Yeah, you'd be like in a weird park, and
were you self-aware? Were you embarrassed?
I am always self-aware. I was self-aware. I know that what I do is nerdy, or what I did was nerdy, and I was self-aware, but I was like, you know what? I have enough fun. I know how to be awkward. You know, it's like that's totally awkward. Every step of it was awkward.
Yeah.
Like because at OSU, you're in the student union, and other people are going around like getting their chicken fingers and whatnot, and you're sitting there like talking about what the High Council decided 100 years ago. Shit like that. You know, vampires are timeless.
Yeah. Do you ever think about like writing a novel, writing fiction?
Yeah, I would like to write something about the Tenderloin. I've been living there for a good while.
Like fiction or just a memoir?
It'd probably be a...
Vampires in the Vampires in the Tendy.
No, I have my high aspirations would be have you ever read Moby Dick?
Yeah. I know the book, I haven't read it.
So when you said when I asked you have you read Moby Dick, you're like, yeah, you meant no.
Yeah, no, but I have read Call Me Ishmael.
So, that's the first sentence.
Yeah.
So what happens, and the way Moby Dick is structured is it has story elements. Like it has chapters that move the story. But then you have, interspersed between those chapters are like chapters where Herman Melville, the author, he goes very deep into weird aspects that have nothing to do with the story. Like he'll be like, okay, and this is what they would use this part of the whale for. It would become almost like him being like, look how much I know about whales.
Yeah. Like not Lord of the Rings, like Game of Thrones. Did you read that?
No.
You never read Game of Thrones or that whatever the book's called, Ice and Fire.
No.
Okay. He does that too. Like he'll just go like 30 pages on like the food they're eating and how it was made.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like the tangents that
you like that shit.
Well, I like that in the sense of, Moby Dick is considered like a great American classic, right?
Yeah. Like the Scarlet Letter, which to this day I'm like I can't read it.
Yeah, isn't that like a short? Was that in the thing? That's a Hawthorne, right?
I think so. It's just.
I think I've read it.
Let me finish your thought, and we'll go back into how much I hate like classical literature or whatever, English literature.
Oh man, that's a shame. I'm pretty sure the reader or the watchers. I'm calling them readers now. I'm pretty sure the watchers appreciate our deep dive into early American lit.
It doesn't matter. We're gonna force them to watch this. I think your popularity alone will get like just
3 hits,
million hits. Dude. I'm gonna take this to the next level. So you like that kind of stuff, and that's what you want to write. Like you want to write a story about vampires and the Tenderloin, and you'll go on like a tangent about crack.
Exactly. I wouldn't probably put vampires in the story. By the way, it would probably be more of a detective story.
Ooh,
that's my
murder mystery.
Because I would love I love the idea of a detective story taking place entirely within the limited range of the blocks of the Tenderloin. I mean, I've talked to I don't know if you've ever been to the Brown Jug, one of my favorite dive bars. May it rest in peace.
No, never.
But one night there, this woman started talking to me about her son who was murdered in Hawaii.
Oh, jeez.
And she started talking about all the different interplay between her and the guy's boyfriend or whatever at the time. And like she was spinning this. This is kind of like a genesis of this idea. This is like years ago. Like this idea of like just being at a bar in the Tenderloin and this kind of drunk at the end of it kind of woman
yeah,
talking about her missing son And you go around the Tenderloin, you see all these like missing dog, missing person posters. Like, hey, if you see this person, ask her to call home.
Right.
There's a bit of a sadness to the Tenderloin, I reckon. But
yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's ripe for fiction.
There you go. You should. Hey, you could start writing it. Have you ever tried to write it or any other novels?
No, that's kind of my plan. That's one of my many pie in the sky plans is to get some of that on paper.
Yeah.
Because I just been collecting notes for everything.
Okay.
For the past 10 plus years, and let's see what we can whip it into.
Have you heard of like the NaNoWriMo, National Writers?
Oh yeah.
In November, you could basically write a whole novel in like 30 days, especially if you don't have a job. And but it's a lot harder than it sounds.
Yeah,
but I don't know. You're more.
Well, I think you just need to bring a little bit of discipline to it.
I have zero. But are you a disciplined man?
Yeah, I know how to self motivate and direct. So I'll be like, time to get up.
Okay.
Time to do something I don't want to do.
Okay.
And just do it. Because I'd rather do it than think about it.
That's
and
good.
So,
I can't do that. So you could. I think you could write a book in a month, dude. Like right after you quit your job.
That's one of my dreams, but I have a bunch of other things that I also want to do. It's like, okay, can you do video things? Can I do audio things? Something like this, I'm not entirely sure. I'll do a pod.
Can I come on your pod?
I'll think about it.
All right. Who's gonna be?
Of course you can.
Who's gonna be?
Of course you can.
Who's gonna be your first guest?
I don't know. Probably a Pokemon expert.
Oh,
just to rub it in.
Does it rhyme with B Bang?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Bay Bang.
I won't go. Yeah, you fucked up. Yeah, I won't go any further than that.
Damn, dude. Yeah, that'll be cool. I want to write a novel. Like I've written like first chapters of a few novels, and I just stopped. But like unlike you, I have zero discipline. I can't even get myself to write down jokes that I'm already doing on stage.
Oh yeah, that if you can't do that, that might be. Well, honestly, it's going to be a different beast no matter what. So, the writing of jokes is going to be different than writing from a novel, writing of a poem.
Right.
My start was like I love poetry. Like I love poetry, but my problem was always that one. You don't get that you don't get instant gratification from writing long form fiction or short fiction or poetry,
right?
Unless you're going to read your poems. And then what I hated about that is fucking everyone's going to laugh at the shittiest jokes at a poetry reading. I don't know if you've been to a poetry reading.
No, I'll never go to one.
They'll start.
I'll go to yours though.
Thank you. They'll start off like these people. They start off making the most jokes, and everyone loves them already. Like they already love.
They make
the
jokes in poetry. They're treating it as like an open mic.
Well, yeah, kind of at the top, and then they get into their poems. I'm like, look at this shit. That's not even that funny.
Yeah.
And you think it's funny just because you're at a poetry reading, but if you're at a comedy thing,
it's trash.
If they don't know you, it's a challenge, right?
Yeah.
It's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
To think you can make me laugh. And I was like, well, I'll show you that I can make you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what I like about it. And poetry versus jokes. Am I rambling? I apologize.
I don't care. I get what you're saying. Keep talking, dude.
If
this is not a podcast of you listening to me.
It can be. I want to hear about Dorian.
I've told you so much. I was religious for a point. I got my ass beat by a LARPer.
What broke your religious streak?
I realized I was in it for the community. So I'm very religious. When I was a child, high school, and then I went to college. And then I just happened to meet the people that ran this group called InterVarsity, which is like a parachurch thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just met like really cool people. So it's just, but I think I was probably like really into like religion as a text. That's when I really got into like determinism. For
big Bible boy over here.
For those that don't believe in God. Because I still like kind of believe like we can't. It's more nature over nurture kind of deal. But that's
To get into heaven?
No. I'm just saying in general that I don't think
To be a good or bad person?
No, that if there's free will.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't see how that's going to be a nature versus nurture thing. That's like, as if you're going to go to the foundations of free will, then aren't you going back to be before nature nurture? You're going back to
But this is just that's just a good way to explain it, right? So it's all nature and nurture doesn't really matter. But anyway, yeah. And then I went to move to.
Who do you think is the most evil person you know in life?
Me?
What? You? Are you the evil person?
I'm not the most evil. I don't know who the most. Probably like I don't know, Epstein. No, probably not. Like,
who do you know? I'm talking about. I'm going to say Randall from my childhood. I watched him pick up and continuously kick a cat through a basketball hoop till it died.
Psychopath.
Yeah, I was like, you're a horrible human being.
Yeah.
The word it's actually I wasn't old enough to challenge him. But I despised everything he did,
kicking contest.
and I despised everything about him.
Yeah,
I watched this cat seizure to death after it landed a couple times.
So what do you think? You think that's nature or nurture?
I think that's a fucking asshole cunt right there.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be more depressing though? That was just his human nature.
It would be. That is very depressing. And but regardless, he should probably be put down.
Well, I mean, maybe he's a great guy.
I don't know.
Now.
I apologize to the listeners for that's kind of a macabre childhood story of mine.
That's all right. Well, let me tell you how I stopped becoming religious. So, I went to LA, and I was really afraid because I was like, I'm going to somewhere new. I don't have that community, that church community.
Oh my God, you're such a fucking pussy.
It's coming from a LARPer, dude.
Yeah, you know what I did?
You know how many Christians there are in America? All of them, dog.
Well,
you know how many LARPers there are?
Well, you're like, oh, I hope I have my community. Well, do you know how many times I've uprooted and fucking thrown myself into totally different situations? Like, and I never cared about.
Saw some guy like freaking kill a cat at the age of 6, dude. Not a lot of people go through that.
I was like 15. No,
I was like, I gotta get out of here.
I was probably like 10 or something. 11.
Yeah. But then I was going to church, and I wasn't finding like friends. But then I got to this one church, and there's this like lady that was like, shout out, still a good friend to this day, Jenna. She was like really nice to me.
She hot?
She was married at the time with like 2 kids.
That's not what I asked.
She's a beautiful woman. Shout out to Jenna. If you're watching this, shout out to your sons. Shout out to Josh.
You have a beautiful family. God bless you.
No, so she was really nice to me. And then at first I was weirded out by it. I was like, what the hell is going on? You know? But it turned out she was trying to set me up with her sister. Shout out Jenna.
Who's Jenna's sister's name? Or what's Jenna's sister's name?
Jonica. She wasn't interested in me.
Shanika?
Jonica. John.
That's my name plus Ika.
Yeah. Real name. Creepy. Totally real name. But anyway, so but then I like made friends. I made friends through that whatever that group, and then her and her husband. Well, I just realized after all, it's about meeting like cool people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she was like a part of like this like community group, like a Bible study thing, and then her and her husband. Her husband is a pro skater, like not like Tony Hawk level, but like he was like getting injured so much, and like he was basically retired at the age of 30, and then they left the state. They went to Minnesota, and I was like going, and I couldn't find like another good group of people that I could call friends. And I realized I was just like, oh, it's not, because I was going to all these churches, and I realized I didn't give a shit about.
I see. You were looking for friends.
I was looking for friends, like good friends.
Okay, yeah.
So that's how I like just kind of. I realized I was like, oh, this is not important to me anymore, and that's why I kind of just, and I left, and I was working a lot at the time, so it was fine. And then you got to piss. Should we end it here, or should we continue?
What do you want to do? What time is it? How long have we gone?
This says almost 90 minutes.
What do you want to do?
Whatever you want. I think Kat posted something. We could keep going, or we could go to Kat's thing. Did she cancel?
Did she cancel?
I don't know. I saw her post some. There's just dead time.
They're getting us checking our phones. Hey, folks.
For the same things. I swear I saw her name pop up. My reception is really bad here.
It looks like it's still on.
Yeah. What time does this start? 9:30?
9, allegedly.
Okay. I mean, do you want to start heading over there?
I'd be down.
Okay.
I have to get pissed.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll end it here.
Folks.
Just an abrupt.
Yeah.
ending.
Well, what did we end on there? Should we end on something else?
I didn't have friends.
Dorian didn't have friends, and he tried to use the church to find them. Turns out he just wanted friends and not God.
That is so sad, but true. All right, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Peace out.